She wanna know me, I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up, we finna go deep. Riding on a team, I got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I hit the town, you should ride on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like a man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can. Daily, baddest in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fanny up, fan. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the low. I be counting stacks while they grow, yeah, you know me. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down, when I come in town, you should slide on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. Nathan, 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 NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And for Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the Brits at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. My people at.
All right, good morning. Sorry about that. I was sending a text. I don't know why people text me at 7 in the morning and they know I'm about to get on the air. I don't understand that. But good morning to you. Welcome back. I cannot respond typically. And then once the show gets started, I don't already see the text message. Just a FYI for anybody out there. If you think I'm talking about you, I might be. Good morning to you. Welcome back. There we go. Here we are. What? We back in the building. Good morning to you. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. So let me give you an update. You know, when I was on the show yesterday, you know, I was 100 with people and told people about what was going on with my mother. She actually passed yesterday. I got the message when I was on the air. Like, it's interesting how, that's why I try to keep it 100 people about my life only as an example, because yesterday morning, I called her nurse. She was in ICU. For folks who don't know, my mother back on Wednesday, Thursday had a massive heart attack. She was rushed to the hospital. She was in ICU all that time over the weekend, and it just wasn't good. And I could just kind of tell. She was in the hospital about a year ago because she had a stroke, and she was intubated and had all this stuff in her, you know, all the machines was keeping her body going. And then, but she was able to recover. She was able to recover. I appreciate it, Naisha. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. A lot of kind words. And I put out on Patreon first. You know, I'm not a sympathy junkie. Not to say that anybody else is, but you know, I see a lot of people putting stuff on Facebook. Sometimes I feel like it's to get a response, and if that gives them comfort, great. I didn't really put anything out there. I do it on the show because I'm 100 with you about what's going on in my life. So she had a massive heart attack, 6 stents in her heart. She was not conscious. And over the weekend, of course, we all rushed to the hospital, try to be with her as you would with anybody in that kind of a situation. And over the weekend, they told us it was 50-50. They said it was not looking good. And I kind of got that feeling when I got the call. Matter of fact, was I on the air? I don't think I was on the air when I initially got the call. But anyway, so over the weekend, and we're all taking turns, you know, the siblings and us. She had 5 children. I'm the oldest, number 1, as she used to call me. And so we talked with the doctors, and they were doing whatever they could over the weekend to try to bring her back. And but see, I just kind of know how these things go. So they started to give us some encouraging words and say some things like, hey, you know, she's on less medication and we're taking this machine off. And we had to make some really, you know, difficult decisions in the moment. But anyway, so yesterday, let me take you back 24 hours ago. I'm an early riser. So yesterday, for whatever reason, I woke up about 3:30. She was on my mind, thinking about the show. I called over at 4:30 to talk with her nurse. And she said it was encouraging. She was like, she's on less medicine and we're trying to revive her. And so there was a part of me that felt like, oh, that's great news. That's what you want to hear. But then the other part of me, and I shared this with you live on the show yesterday, is I know how these things go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that sounds good, but it's when you're in the state that my mother was in, it's hour to hour. It certainly is hour to hour. So when I got on the show yesterday, sometimes thinking it happened in my life that I try to just share with you, just so you can be better or just to give you a heads up on it. And what did I say? I said, I had this phone call. It's good, but I literally could receive a phone call or a text message on the air. And that's what happened in about 8:45 a.m. yesterday during the show. That's why we end the show at 9. I received a text message from my sister saying, I just got a call. We got to come to the hospital. It wasn't good. And so we rush out there. I mean, me and the wifey, we rush out there and it wasn't good. I might tear up and all that kind of stuff. You know me, I'm transparent about it. My masculinity, who I am, is 100% intact. No man can ever challenge that, no matter what circumstance. But I believe in being transparent and being real. So we went out there, and as we was driving out, the wife, I just had a bad feeling. Just had a bad feeling. And I was about 10 minutes away, and I received a text message from my sister saying, no, I received a call from the doctors. And because I'm the oldest and she didn't really have anything on paper as to who was going to do what in those kind of situations, as we were told, it falls on the oldest child, the eldest. That's me. But I got big, broad shoulders. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. And the phone call was something like, well, your mother had flatlined three times already. Do you want us to continue doing compressions? Meaning that her heart had stopped 3 times and they had resuscitated her, right? Doing the chest compressions, which, as they were telling us, can be very, very hard on your body. You can crack ribs and all kind of things. So, just remember the conversations I had with my mother, in a situation like that, it's not really about me. It's not really about my siblings. It's not really about anything other than her. And I remember our conversation. She used to always say, give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance. But I ain't trying to be no vegetable. I ain't trying to be brain dead, but give me a chance. And we gave her that chance. And so we got out there. It was just really tough. Just imagine the scene. This is your mother, the vessel that brought you into this world, and she's got all these tubes in her. We were surrounded by family, and the doctors would come in, and it was like the doctors come in, chaplain is there, the whole 9 yards. It's just very, very emotional stuff. And we had to make a decision on the spot about whether we were going to continue to do compressions, or from what they were telling us, the fear was that at this point, she had stroke, and they were talking about brain damage, and they felt as if continuing doing compressions would only really prolong the inevitable. So, we had to make a decision, and it was tough. It was very tough decision. But such is the circle of life. And I don't just talk shit. I mean exactly what I'm saying, every single word. And so, as I said before, my people prepared me for death. Everybody listening right now is going to die, each and every one of you. So what I'm experiencing is what you're going to go through. My mother just went before me. That's it. And if you believe in an afterlife, or you believe in something that happens after death, then perhaps we'll be reunited. That's a very comforting feeling to believe that. I don't know if it's true or not, because I've never died. During my circumstance, I don't remember anything. I went into the operating room and came back, and I was cool. And I don't remember any gates or lights, or nobody spoke to me. I just was under, whatever the anesthesia is, and then I came out. So it's very, very difficult. It's a very, very difficult situation. It's a probably situation that some of you have actually had to deal with your parents, or you're going to have to deal with it. It's a circle of life. And I'll say it again. Give people their flowers while they are alive. I believe in that. The people around me know exactly how they feel. I don't spare any sympathies or any hugs. I don't do none of that shit. I keep it 100 about the people around me, just innately, but also because this time we have, this shit is fleeting. You ain't got no time. Sands through an hourglass is running out every single day. So don't waste it. So it's very, very emotional. I'm very emotional. I was tearing up and all that kind of stuff. I can feel it right now. I might. We'll see. I'm not trying to hide it or fight it back. I mean, whatever happens naturally happens naturally. But I just want to share these experiences with you because you might have to go through it. You probably will have to go through it. It'll either be your mother or your father or somebody close to you, or it'll be you. It'll be you. And my mother was in her 70s, and she lived a good long life. Incredible black woman. She wasn't perfect. Nobody is, but she was good to me. She was definitely good to me and helped me to become the man that I am today. And so she will definitely be missed, 100%. But I didn't need my mother to die to feel that way. I felt that way about her while she was here. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big, 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 big proponent in giving people their flowers while they are alive. Again, and people around me know exactly how I feel. And that's one thing about being close to me is that you'll know exactly how I feel about you, whether that's good or bad or whatever. You'll never have to wonder because I'm gonna tell you. And so same thing with my mother. She knows exactly how I felt. It's so interesting because this is the first time I've had to deal with this. I lost my grandfather and my grandmother. And what happens is, you find yourself wanting to look at pictures. And for me, I'm an auditory person. You find yourself wanting to hear their voices. So I went back, and went back through my phone and sort of saved all of the messages that she sent me. She tried to call me and couldn't reach me, and she left a message. And to hear her voice is very, very comforting. And I'll probably hold on to that for the rest of my life and listen to it from time to time because you miss people, 100%. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is give people their flowers while they are here. Health is wealth. I keep saying it. I almost died because I was doing dumb shit. If you watching me right now, if you're doing dumb shit, it's going to catch up with you. Don't think it's a game. This is no game whatsoever. Your health means everything. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep saying it. I was catching oops on the fast break with Ease Your Hand. Boom. Booming on Negroes. Top flight condition. But if you don't maintain it, it should catch up with you. And as you get older, you see yourself as your younger version of yourself. And sometimes those things can get away from you. So every time you sit down to eat, think about what you're doing, my friends, because it will catch up with you. My mother, even after her situations, was smoking. We already know how that ends. We already know how that ends. You may not feel it today, but it will catch up with you. And so, what I desperately, desperately, desperately hope is that the people that listen to this show will listen to what I'm saying and be better than me. Be better than me. Don't leave your people behind because you like fried chicken. Don't leave your people behind because you live to eat. No, you eat to live. Don't leave your people behind because you can't put down the cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Addictions are very difficult because you love the drink. They're very difficult, but you can do it. Think about it. Think about it, my friends. 513-873-7134. Some of you might be wondering, like, damn, I'm surprised he's doing the show today. And it was really a game time decision. This is what I do. My mother would probably want me to keep doing this. I don't have any reason not to. I'm extremely emotional. You know what I'm saying? I feel this ain't no good time. Trust me when I say that, but life goes on. That's what you'll find out. When you lose somebody closely, what you'll find out is life goes on. And my mother built me to be strong. I'm not weak in any way. I got my human frailties and I got my insecurities like everybody else, but I am not weak. And she didn't build me that way. My people didn't build me. My people are not weak. And you know, if she were here, she'd be like thinking, do what you do, son. This is what I do. So that's what I'm going to continue doing. Now, I might feel differently tomorrow, and I'll reserve that for myself. I might give tomorrow, like, screw this show. I don't feel like doing it. And I'll let you know that. But right here, right now, I want to be with you. I want to do what I do on a regular basis. And whether I do this show or not is not going to bring her back. If it did, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be here if it would bring her back, but it's not going to bring her back. So, and it's just really, I keep turning to the wife. He's saying, did this really happen? It's like hard to believe that this is really true. Like this really happened. We really went through this. Again, it was very emotional. I was just full of tears and you just imagine. I was just a mess as anybody would be. And the whole family was. And, you're standing there and, it was a very interesting human experience. I've never experienced that before with my grandparents, who I love dearly, and that's why I talk about them so much. I arrived at the hospital after they'd already departed. In this situation, I was right there and kind of watching the monitors as the numbers slowly go the wrong way, right? I'm sitting here watching this, and I don't know what was happening internally, but externally, she seemed to make a peaceful transition. And I remember holding her hand and you could feel the warmth. And then suddenly the hands go cold. And it's so real. You're sitting there and you're looking at, and see, I'm a little different about certain things. I'm not really a funeral person. I'm not really into all this stuff about the body. Once the spirit leaves, I'm pretty much done with it. And so we're having conversations now about should we donate parts of her body to science, which I'm always in favor of. And, the funeral arrangements, which, as I sit here right now, are all taken care of, or we will be taking care of them. But it's a very real, I don't think there's any more human experience than that, quite honestly. I don't think there's anything more human than what I experienced yesterday. It's very, very, as I say, interesting. It's very, very interesting. I'm just a student of life. I don't have any control over this. And what happened with my mother is God's will. I don't have any control over it. God has control over all of that. God controls that when we come and when we go. I have no control. I'm just here just trying to figure out what my part is. Um, see here. Um, I don't know if it's easier because of her age or her condition. Maybe it is. But it's never easy because now, I got one less person in my corner who's in the world, right? Like I didn't really call my mother for a financial assistance or anything like that, kind of beyond that at this point, but just that emotional assistance, just that emotional assistance. I mean, I would call my mother and get advice. And then when on everything, I kept it 100 with my mother. I don't, but I'm generally like that though. I kept it 100 with her about the things I was dealing with, even in my marriage or whatever, because I think that's the way you get the best advice. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get advice from you. I can't get advice from you that I really need if I'm lying to you about the circumstances. So so that's the deal. So now we got to deal with the funeral arrangements and packing up her stuff and her apartment and all that kind of stuff, which whatever my siblings want to do is cool with me. They can have all their stuff. I got pictures and memories and I have their voice. That's pretty much good for me. Whatever they need and want is cool with me. Um I got to think about the funeral. I'm not really a funeral person. I just the whole, once the spirit leaves the body, I'm typically not that interested in the husk anymore. That's just me. I remember with my grandparents, I just couldn't even stand sitting there. I ended up leaving early at their funerals. It's like, why are we doing this? Do what you want to do with the body at this point. I've told my wife, even with me, I want to be cremated. Do what you want to do with it. I mean, after that point, I'm gone. I'm more worried about financial security for my children and my wife more than what they do with what you see right here. This is really nothing. It's the spirit that's really eternal, right? So that's the deal. That's the deal. And it's not a good feeling. Um, but I can't act like this is unique. You're gonna go through it too. You probably have already gone through it. And again, my mother had just made a transition that I'm gonna make one day. And that's how I look at it.
Amen.
And after my own near death experience, I used to be more fearful of death than I am now. Now I just realize it's an eventuality. It comes for all of us. So, live life to the fullest, hopefully in a safe way. I ain't telling you to go ahead and do some unprotected type ish. Step outside your comfort zone and move without fear. That's really what they say. And you hear these things from people all the time is really the truth, quite honestly. And so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. That's it. I'm a little bit on my, paid in full type ish. Anybody ever owe me money? All that kind of stuff. I'm on my Kai Fight for a little bit, not too much. That's not really my nature. Um, but I'm just searching my feelings so I can kind of share with you, um, because you will go through the same exact thing. Now you're gonna deal with it the way you deal with it. But like I told you, growing up with older people, spent a lot of time with my grandparents. They sort of prepare you for this kind of stuff. They prepare you like, hey, I ain't always gonna be here. So what you gonna do? You get ready to stand on your own 2 feet. And so that's always kind of been my mentality. So we stayed out there maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple hours after she passed, and you're standing there, or at that point we were sitting, and then your loved one is just laying in the bed there, and they give you the time to sort of be with your loved one. And after a while, I'm like, what are we doing here? It's time to go. I can't do anything else about it. And I'll always be paying my respect to her as I move forward, in my own way. And I got some pictures. You might see some pictures of her behind me or something like that, because I want to keep her image close to me and things like that. But that's it. I mean, you know, that shit is so final. I mean, that's the thing about death. It is so final. There's nothing you can do about it. And having lost people before, I've never seen ghosts. I haven't won the lottery. Nobody has. Nobody has. Hold on one second here. Nobody has. I don't hear voices or anything like that. None of that stuff you see in the movies. I don't think any of that ish is true. None of that ish is true. You don't hear voices, and stuff isn't moving in the kitchen, and pictures of family members aren't falling off. I had something. I'm not tearing up. If I was, I'm not gonna put the thing up. It's just, I want you to see all this raw emotion. But things aren't falling. Pictures aren't falling off the wall, or stuff isn't moving off the shelf. And, like they do in the movies where ghosts are trying to send messages to the people who are here on this reality. I mean, really and truly, my friends, uh, she just went a little bit before me. Who knows? I could go today. I could go tomorrow. You could go today. You could go tomorrow. So what you gonna do with the time you got left is really it's all about. That's what it's all about. What are you gonna do with the time that you have left? That's it. All right. But again, I'm not really prepared to do like a whole 2-3 hour show. So you got me probably up until 8, maybe a little bit after 8. We'll see how it goes this morning. But I enjoy chit chatting with the people. I mean, I enjoy doing this. It's a real love for me. So on some levels, it's almost like a departure, right? It allows me to not think about it, although I'm thinking about it because I'm talking about it, right? It's the most prominent thing that's going on in my life. So what else would I talk about right here, right at this time? So I appreciate all the well wishes. I haven't responded to everybody, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I think it's real heartfelt and 100%. And just love your babies and love the people that's close to you. I mean, that's the moral of the story. Hold them tight. Let them know. Let them know. Because I think that's the worst thing. I think if you have some kind of regrets, I'm not really a regretful kind of person typically. Now I have done some shit I regret, but I'm not typically like that with expressing my emotions for my people around me. But it is what it is. TC says she can't hear. Can you hear now, TC? Hopefully you can hear. I definitely want to be heard. I think we got a call on the line. Let's go to the call. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. This is Kelly Prather. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. You know what? Interestingly enough, I work early in the morning, so I don't always get to catch your show. And so I am so happy that, I was able to hear you speak about your mom and to just hear your strength. Nathan, it does not surprise me that you're doing your show because you are a fearless leader and you're doing exactly what your mom would want you to do. So my prayers and condolences are to you and your entire family. We lost both of our parents, my mom like 11 years ago. And Nathan, I will share this, I'm a God-fearing woman. And you will never get over the loss of your mom, but you'll definitely get through it. You just keep praying. And as far as you doing your show, this is therapeutic for you. This is therapeutic because it gives you a healthy outlet to the people who love and support you. And just keep being you and keep doing what your mom would have wanted you to do because grief is a process, and you're going to need to just release some of those unhealthy feelings, because if you suppress it, it will make you sick. So my prayer is that God covers you and your entire family, and you know that you have my number. If you need me for anything, just trust and believe that I'm here for you, and I'm going to continue to pray for you. But yeah, I'm going to pray for your family, because this is not only difficult for you, this is difficult for the people who love and respect you as the leader that you are. So, good job, Nathan. Good job. I'm really, really proud of you, and keep up the amazing job that you're doing. Okay.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate it.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. That's Kelly
Bye.
Prather, everybody. Yeah, most def. I mean, I'll be honest with you. My plan is take my kids to school, and I'm going to the gym because I'm all about those healthy habits. And I think that sometimes when you're dealing with pain, and I'm definitely dealing with pain, but the way I try to deal with pain is I try to get better. I try to get stronger. So I want to take it inward in a real healthy way. So what I'm hoping is at about 11 or 12 today, I'm just gonna be in just a whole different place, right? I'm just gonna just take it out on my body and with a healthy benefit. Like I've developed healthy habits which won't be broken no matter what happens at this point. And so that's just my way of dealing with things. Yesterday I worked out, just got a nice little walk in, hit the calisthenics real good, just just in a very healthy way for me. That's just my way. Some people drink, some people smoke, some people do whatever they do, they eat. Um, I build. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just my way. But I've always been like that. That's nothing new for me per se. But I appreciate all the well wishes. I appreciate it. I feel the love. I appreciate it. It means a whole lot. Thank you very much. And for folks that follow the show, again, you already know. I mean, I left the show early at 9. You knew what was going on. I told you I had to roll out of here. And I mean, I want to say I'm grateful that I got out there before she passed, but she was unconscious, so she really couldn't talk or see anything. So, I mean, I didn't really get a chance to experience saying goodbye to her while she was conscious per se. But again, we spoke on a regular basis, and I mean, I feel comfortable with that. It'd be different if we were estranged or something like that and wasn't speaking, or that might be different, but that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all, so I get it. Oh, I like the sweater, man. Let me say good morning. Let me see your sweater. Looks nice. I like that. Legend, huh? I like that. You gonna say good morning? You gotta say good morning right here.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
All right. All
I
right.
have very rare pets on this game.
He's got very rare pets on a game. Okay. All right. Thank you, son. We appreciate that. We appreciate it. All right. I want to talk about Dave Chappelle just a little bit before I roll out of here. He has there's a clip out there of him talking about all of the controversy, and I didn't know how deep it was. I mean, apparently he's been banned from like major media outlets except for Netflix for his comments. And I haven't watched The Closer again. I watched it like almost twice, like 1 2/3. And I still, again, this is comedy. I really don't understand. I do get I do understand. I get it, but this is comedy. And if there's any place in our society where we should be able to walk that high wire act between profane and profound, it's in the world of comedy. But he says, I am not bending to anybody's demands. And I want to add to that, how to not give a F about what anyone thinks. Because too many people out there get caught up in what other people think. They really do. And it's interesting because again, I think as you get older and you get comfortable with yourself, you just kind of figure out who you are, and you like, I just who I am. You know what I'm saying? Take it or leave it. And I'm most definitely in that spot. But for folks who might need it, I want to talk about that this morning and maybe share some tips. You might have heard them before. Maybe you didn't hear them. I'm not sure, but you're definitely going to hear them this morning. All right, so let's take a quick break, shall we? A little earlier than usual, but the show is going to end earlier than usual. And I want to remind you that early voting is taking place in Hamilton County. Is very, very important. Hamilton County Board of Elections, you can vote early up until November the 1st, which is Monday. Election day is a week from today. A week from today. I also want to share with you the folks over at Black Political 101. Have you heard of that? Black Political 101 It'll be interesting to see what they do with this. But they put out a list of recommendations for all of the candidates, whether it be school board, mayor, city council, and also the issues. And I want to share that with you and get your thoughts about this morning. If you want to share your thoughts, you got to do it early because I'm out of here at about 8. 513-873-7134. That is my number, and we'll be right back.
Good morning, Choppers. I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by friends of Scotty Johnson.
I'm former Mayor Dwight Tillery asking you to vote for my friend, Michelle Dillingham, who is a Democrat running for Cincinnati City Council. The black population in our city has declined, pushing black homeowners out while speculators purchase their houses for pennies on the dollar. Black people are being foreclosed on because of rigged housing and economic systems.
Michelle Dillingham will fight for you. This is Victoria Strong. You know me, Sister V. City Council prefers investing in a soccer stadium and gentrifying our historic neighborhoods. Malcolm X said that if you don't own land, you're nothing but a squatter.
Come on, Michelle, talk to the people.
City Council is being sued for discriminatory tax abatement programs that unfairly enrich wealthy white neighborhoods. I know because I've been fighting for reform for years. Isn't it time to elect a candidate who will stand up for the people over special interests? Vote for me, Michelle Dillingham, Democrat for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by Dillingham for Council Committee.
This is Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I've been busy fighting hard for the citizens of our county. But today I'm asking you to vote for my friend, Democrat Elizabeth Tye, for municipal court judge. Elizabeth Tye and her family stood with me in a tough election. Now I'm asking you to stand with Elizabeth Tye for judge. She's from our community, and she's qualified. Elizabeth Tye grew up in Kennedy Heights and graduated from Central State University. Elizabeth Tye has been a prosecutor, a public defender, and has built a law practice from the bottom up. There is currently only one black woman on the municipal court. It's time to send another one. Join me in voting for my sister, Elizabeth Tye, for judge. Meet me at the polls.
This is Elizabeth Tye, and there is only one judicial race, and I need you to vote Tye for judge. Let's send a clear message that hard work and experience matters. Go vote Tye for judge today.
Paid for by the committee to elect Democrat Elizabeth Tye for municipal judge.
Good morning, Choppers.
Former Mayor Dwight Tillery.
Good morning, Choppers. I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by friends of Scotty Johnson.
Hi, this is County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I'm supporting Reggie Harris for Cincinnati City Council. Not only did Reggie support me in my tough election last year, but we walked the streets of Cincinnati together to deliver food and help citizens in this pandemic. Reggie Harris knows what it means to help people in these tough times, and as a former vice mayor, I know how important it is to have good leaders at City Hall. That's why I'm asking you to join with me in voting for Reggie Harris for City Council.
Paid for by friends of Reggie Harris.
Can't sleep.
It's hard to pay attention in school.
I say mean things.
I keep getting in trouble.
I bully other kids.
I'm just scared.
No one sees my pain.
Sometimes I want to die.
So many of our children are facing trauma, but instead of seeing their pain and fear, we're labeling them bad, troubled, delinquent, or criminal. Let's look beyond their behaviors. Let's get them the help they need by helping them address the trauma they're facing.
Help me feel safe.
See me for more than my behaviors.
Understand that my actions are how I communicate my fears.
For more information, visit www.opendoors.org. ohiostateofemergency.com. That's ohiostateofemergency.com.
I'll say it again. If you're not hip to what Ron Hummus is doing with the Ohio State of Emergency and his group and his push, you should really tap into it. I mean, I think that the work he's doing around trauma, I don't see anybody else doing this. I think that it is potentially groundbreaking and could give us a new lens in which to view some of the things that we see in terms of the headlines, in terms of violence, and perhaps even a new way of looking at some of the issues that we talk about on a regular basis. And those spots are paid for by my friends over at Renew Community Church. They do great work. Check them out. Good morning to you. Dave Chappelle says, I am not bending to anybody's demands. I got a clip for you. Want to see it? And he gets a little deeper into it. He talks about how there's a lot of folks out there that are trying to essentially shut him down and censor him. Check this out. And it's like 5 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing right now in its entirety. I'll jump in and chime in with some thoughts. But check this out.
It's been said in the press that I was invited to speak to the transgender employees at Netflix, and I refuse. That is not true. If they had invited me, I would have accepted it, although I am confused about what we are speaking about. I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not? You said you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore. I want everyone in this audience to know that even though the media frames this, that it's me versus that community, that is not what it is. Do not blame the LGBTQ community for any of this shit. This has nothing to do with them. It's about corporate interests and what I can say and what I cannot say.
It says about corporate interest, the thought police. Is that true? I thought it was about the LGBTQ community. But Dave says, no, it's not about that. And y'all see it when I play more of it. He says people are trying to pit us against each other, like me against the LGBTQ community. That's not what it is. He says it's about corporate censorship. Is that true? Interesting.
For the record, and I need you to know this, everyone I know from that community has been nothing but loving and supporting. So I don't know what all this nonsense is about. In summer 2020, when the whole world shut down, I was outside doing shows. My neighbor had a cornfield, and he let me throw shows there, and people came from all over the country. Some people came from around the world to see those shows. The best comedians on earth came to my home and broke bread with me. And we lived our lives. We found a way to keep moving forward. I made a whole documentary about it. The first night of those shows was a piece that some of you might have seen. It was called 846, and it dealt with the murder of George Floyd. This film that I made was invited to every film festival in the United States, and some of those invitations I accepted. And when this controversy came out about the closer, they began disinviting me from these film festivals. And now, today, not a film company, not a movie studio, not a film festival, nobody will touch this film. Thank God for Ted Sarandos at Netflix. He's the only one that didn't cancel me yet.
Yeah, again, I watched it. I watched it almost twice, and this is comedy. Like I said, transgender black women, born men, now living their lives as women. it seems like every 2 months there's a story about somebody murdered or somebody missing or something like that. So I can understand the concern about creating a culture or an atmosphere where some psycho sickos out there take it way further than Dave Chappelle and they start committing acts of violence because of their own issues. That's all it really is, their own issues. Now, I do think if you're a transgender person and you're trying to be intimate with somebody in any way, whether it's oral or any other way, you should be 100 with them, because I think that can be looked upon as a form of rape. I've heard people make that argument, and I think I can understand that. You're basically tricking me into doing something that's outside of my sexuality. And my sexuality is something that, depending on who you are, could be life or death. Could be life or death. So I can understand that. There's some conversations we need to have. I do believe that. I've heard of the rape culture, and there might be a violence culture as it relates to transgender. I'm gonna say black women, because that's what I see. Okay, I can definitely see that. There's some people out there that feel like they're justified in committing acts of violence under certain circumstances. And one of them is if they feel as if their sexuality has been violated. That's true. And I think that if you have a culture that dehumanizes any particular group of individuals, it opens the door for them to be victims of violence. So if you have a culture that reduces women to just sexual organs and nothing else, then it opens the door, right? It ain't right. Nobody's saying go out and do this, but you got some really not so well-adjusted people out there. It opens the door for them to start thinking about women as only sexual objects. That's in one way, and I believe the argument about pornography, which is more prolific than ever before. And if you look at pornography will make you think that every woman always wants it. She's always ready. All she needs is a big D or the promise of it, and she's ready to go. And there may be times when women are in those moods, right? But that ain't true. But if you look at pornography, it'll make you think that, right? If you don't have any real world experiences, it'll make you think that, like, oh, okay, all I got to do is throw her a line and she ready to go. What you mean tell me no? You're a woman. You want it, right? So it's got to be true with the LGBTQ community. So when we hear those arguments, or I hear those arguments, I think there's an element of truth in that. But Dave Chappelle's a comedian. He's a comic. He's telling jokes. It's satire, right? It's the kind of comedy that, in our society, we got a lot of like sensitive points. In some comics, and I enjoy these type of comics, they derive their comedy by just pressing those points over and over again. I like that kind of comedy. You know what I'm saying? I like all forms of comedy, but I like those kind of comedy, the kind of comedy that makes you look at yourself. Oh, by the way, Dave Chappelle's coming to Cincinnati. He'll be at the Heritage Arena in early November. I'm trying to be there, yo. I'm trying to be there. Apparently he's taping something. And so you're not allowed to bring your cell phones or anything like that. I'm like, oh, I got to be there. I'm trying to be there. The tickets go on sale Wednesday. They're not paying me for this. I'm just talking about it, right? Dave Chappelle's coming to Cincinnati. Tickets go on sale on Wednesday. But that's who he is. And it's so funny. It's just so funny how the LGBTQ community is all in their feelings about what he said during the closer. But he used the B word. He used the N word. Ain't nobody else talking about that. And I'm not mad at the LGBTQ community because they've built up a mouthpiece or a bullhorn that's so loud that they can shout down and challenge somebody, even like a Dave Chappelle. Kudos for them. Black folks, women's groups, women's rights groups, we should build those kind of like platforms so that when somebody says something that we don't like, all we got to do is start talking to that mofo and then people react to it. So I'm not mad about that. But I'm like, when I watched the closer, he talked about a lot of people. He made some points with the baby that I didn't think was really all that good of a point. But to me, there was enough for a lot of people to be offended. But right now, when it comes to the LGBTQ community, and perhaps rightly so, on some levels, I understand it, that's a really, really sensitive thing right there. Like, when people make the point that you can disrespect black folks and get less of a backlash then if you disrespect, again, in the eyes of the beholder, the LGBTQ community, that appears to be true to me. But you can't blame a saying. Again, you can't blame the LGBT community because they got more unity and they stick up for one another more than the black folks do, or maybe women do. We can't get mad at them. Who we mad at? I can't get mad at them because they outraged when they're more sensitive about things that relate to them than black people are or women are. Who we mad at? Because I've heard people make that point before, like, well, he said all this stuff. If you said something about black folks, wouldn't anybody say anything? That's black folks' fault. That's our fault. That's your fault. When he talked about women, he talked about women. Didn't nobody say anything? Well, that's women's fault. That's your fault. You can't blame, like I keep saying, the LGBTQ community because they stand with one another. I mean, what we should be doing is look at them like, you know what? That's what we need to do, if anything. But Dave Chappelle is a social satirist, comic. That's what he does. You go back and watch The Closer, there's enough for a lot of people to be outraged. So why we keep talking about just the LGBTQ community? Well, because that's what they built. They stand together. Let's move on.
Yeah. To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's demands.
See, I love that, man. I love that. He said, I ain't bending to anybody's demands. Basically, what Dave Chappelle is saying, I don't give a damn what you think. And there's a lot of people, grown people, that still get caught up in what other people think. I can see it on social media. I can see it by the kind of things that people post. It's almost like they're trying to elicit, or generate responses and things like that. And I'm no different. I mean, hell, on some levels, do I care about what people think? If I said no, I would be lying, but because I think that all of us care about what people think to some degree, but for me, it's a little bit different. So I'm not governed by what other people think, right? Even on this show, you'll hear people call in and say this. I'm like, I hear you, bro. Anyway, yeah, I hear you, sis. Anyway, because I know who I am. But there are some tips that I will share with you real quick as to how not to give a F about what other people think. And again, it may seem redundant, but it's easier said than done. But the number one way to not give a F about what other people think is you got to know who you are. You got to do the hard work about yourself first so you know who you are. And once you know who you are, it makes everything so much easier. Like when you know who you are, it doesn't really matter what other people say or think about you because you know who you are. When you don't know who you are, when you're a little bit unsure about that, it's kind of like, maybe they got a point. Sounds like me, and it starts to get into your head. But when you know who you are, when you know what you're all about, what you stand for, what you think, what your motivations are, it's like a sheet of armor that's this thick. Is this thick, ladies and gentlemen. When you develop that, and I think some people are born with a stronger sense of self than other people, but I think as you get older, hit them 40s, hit them 50s, hit them 60s, hit them 70s, it gets even thicker. Because like as your time runs out, the less you give a damn about what other people think about how you spending your time here, right? Holla if you hear me on this. So that's number one. You got to know who you are. And that's through a history of your actions, building your own character, right? Your own integrity. Once you build that, nobody can really say anything that you either don't already know or you don't already know about yourself or you don't already know is BS as soon as it comes off their lips. You ever had a conversation with somebody trying to say something to you and they're trying to tell you about you and you just listening to them like, and it's like bullets bouncing off of Superman's chest. It don't even penetrate, right? Because you know who you are and you know they don't some BS, right? This happened here on the show. I'm like, I hear you, B. Okay. Bing, bing, bing. Bullets just bounce off of you because you already know that ain't me, right? Nobody knows you better than you. The other way is, and this is my formula on how not to give a F about what other people think, right? And it's like a 3-step process. And I'll share this with you in the hopes that maybe it might help you. One, when people say things about me or whatever, what I'm doing, I ask myself, is this someone whose opinion that I give a damn about? Right? That's just off the top. And it's usually based upon the way that they present themselves to me, the way that they present, the way they conduct themselves, but it really is about our own interactions. And it's a very important step, because if somebody says something about me or to me, and it's coming from a person who I don't give a damn about and they don't have a valid opinion, I might miss good advice, and I'm willing to do that. I might miss good advice because what this person is so invalid to me that it don't even make a difference. So I admit I might miss good advice. So if we can't get past step 1, we need to get past to step 2. But let's say it is somebody who I'm like, you know what, this is a credible source right here. Then we go to step 2. And step 2 is I ask myself, is this person saying something that's valid? So first is the person valid? And then second, is this person saying something that makes any damn sense? Is this valid? Okay. And if it's valid, we go to step 3, which means I just absorb it and get better. And that's hard. That is hard to do for a grown person, because the older you get, the more you don't want to be told about yourself, right? Raise your hand if you like it when people tell you about yourself and they're right. I know I don't. Shit, I don't know. Don't tell me nothing about myself and you're right. Oh my God. Nothing to make a grown person more mad than when another grown person check you and they're absolutely right about you. Tell me I'm wrong. You be ready to fight. You be ready throwing stuff. Who you think you is? And you get home later like, damn, sis was right. Bro was right? That shit burn you up. Why does that burn you up so much? Why does that burn grown people up so much when people check you or tell you about yourself and they absolutely right? But that's a difficult process. You know what I'm saying? If they right, they right. You just absorb it and get better. I ain't above it. I got my feelings when people told me something. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you is? And I sit down like, damn, they right. He's right. And if they right and you absorb it, all it does is make you stronger. And if they wrong, it just makes your self-awareness a little bit stronger. That's it. That's how you don't give a damn. Number one, you got to demonstrate and build that work inside yourself. Once you know yourself, again, your armor will be wider than I can actually show you on the screen right now. It'd be super wide. People can say whatever they want. I've heard everything. I've heard working in this city as a black man with this mouth and this brain and these stones. Oh my God, I've heard it all. I've heard there's nothing that anybody can say to me, I don't think at this point, somebody might surprise me, that I haven't already heard. And it depends on the individual. Like there's some people that might have said some things to me that was completely 100. But because I don't really value them or see them as a valid, credible source, I missed it. I missed it completely. Like it went straight over, not over my head, but just bounced off and went to the ground. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that because sometimes people will say the dumbest ish to you because they on some F-ish, or because maybe they're well-intentioned, but their delivery is bad. That happens sometimes too. But I'm glad to see that Dave Chappelle seems to have thick skin. And I would imagine he has or does, because in the business he's in, boy, I bet you he get all kind of crazy messages and DMs and all kind of stuff. I tell people, when you want to get into this business, like, you want to put yourself and do podcasts and shows and stuff like that, you better get some thick skin, because you're going to hear all of it. You're going to hear it all. It don't matter who you are or what you've done. You could be the greatest ally of the black community or whatever, you gonna hear it all, because that's just human beings. That's the other, you gotta understand, that's the nature of human beings. Sometimes people don't have nothing else better to do with their day than to try to say some dumb ish. That's just the nature of people. But small minds do small things. Great minds don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? People with great minds, they're not doing a whole bunch of this troll and dumb ish. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, with my system, I already know. I can already tell when it's coming in, if it's something I should even spend my time with or not. And I've gotten a great many DMs where I can't even get past I get to the first sentence, I'm on to the next thing. I don't even read the rest of that nonsense. Why should I? For what reason? But I love what I'm seeing from Dave Chappelle, man. Dave's like, look, I'm not bending the knee to anybody's demands. I said what I said. It's comedy. It's comedy. That's it. Nothing more. Get over yourselves, man. And for all my black folks out there, just like, well, the LGBTQ, listen, don't hate on the LGBTQ community. That's a waste of time. Applaud them. I applaud them for having unity. I applaud them. Great, they got unity. When somebody say some dumb ish about the LGBTQ community, them mofos, they form Voltron on their ass. Black folks would be like, well, I kind of see the point and all this other kind of stuff. Some black folks anyway, right? You can't get mad at it because they showing unity. Are we jealous? I'm not jealous. I think it's a great example. Either we learn from it or you don't.
And if you want to meet with me, I'd be more than willing to, but I have some conditions. First of all, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's true, man. I get it what he's saying. I'll stop it right there, and I'll put a link. And if you want to check it out, I'll put a link. It's on World Stars. You can see their branding right there. You can check it out for yourself. And also, you'll check it. If anybody likes, I use something called Restream. I share fully and openly with the audience. If you like the overlays and the way I'm doing with this kind of stuff, it's real simple. Matter of fact, hit me with a direct message. I'll send you a link where you can get like $10 off. I'll get a little something. You'll get a little something. If you want to do a live stream, you want it to look like this. As a matter of fact, I'm about to make a transition to some more software. I want to check that out. And if I like it, then I'll share that with you as well. But just send me with a direct message. That's the best way to do it if you're interested, and I'll share with you freely. But what do you think about Dave Chappelle? And do you have a problem with caring? I mean, let's be honest here. So I ain't gonna lie to you and say that there weren't times in my life when I didn't care about what people thought, right? And I'm not telling you that I don't care about the way that I'm perceived to some degree, right? Because I know how I want to be perceived, right? And if somebody says some dumbish, I'm that one to let them know that you just said some dumbish. So I care about that. I care about people understanding what I'm saying, right? I care about that. Like, I don't want to be misinterpreted, right? So you'll hear me taking the time to explain myself, either with callers or chatters or whatever. I care about that. But the quality of my thoughts, agree or disagree, or am I right or wrong? Knock it off. That shit don't mean anything. What my motivation was, and I don't care about all that stuff. But people do, though. You'll be surprised. I've been surprised that the people in their 40s and 50s and 60s, really caught up with other people. And that shit, man, will put you in the worst place of your life. You'll be straight up in gridlock, worrying about what other people think. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. You got me for, I don't know, I'm still here for now. I don't want to put a time on it. I see a lot of well-wishers coming in. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, we got Elizabeth Tofford Judge in the house. How you doing, Liz? Good to see you. Appreciate you. Naisha writes, I'm the same way. A lot of well-wishers. I appreciate all the condolences and well-wishes and things like that. Thank you so much. Jesse and Stacy and Anthony and Diane and Ashley and Anthony and Jerica and Kelly, she called in. I appreciate it. Fame, appreciate you. Again, just hug the people that you love the most right now. That's all you do. And health as well. Take care of your bodies. Take care of it. Because it's not, you are not invincible. LaMonica, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Isaiah, thank you so much. Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much. Jericho writes, it's okay not to be strong. I don't got no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I'll tear up. I'll cry. I've done it before. I don't have no problem with that. To me, that has nothing to do with strength or not. But I was just saying that, I was taught to be strong about death. I was taught to be strong about the eventualities of life by my grandparents. He used to tell me, I'd be like, oh, thank you, Pops. Yeah, listen, be grateful that I'm here because I'm not going to be here. So I said it all the time. And then after hearing that over and over and over again, it's like, oh, I understand what he's trying to say. And I teach the same thing to my children. Like, Daddy ain't going to be here forever. So get your game together. Sarinthia, hey, what's up, Sarinthia? Good to see you. What's up, sis? It's been a minute. I think did I turn you off, Corinthia? Hopefully not. Maybe she's just busy. Michael writes, my condolences. Naisha writes, how's your kids? They're okay. They're okay. Cass is in the house. Good morning to you. Akeem, Darlene, TNT, Linda, Vince. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for the kind words. Kush, good to see you. Appreciate everybody. Okay. Fame writes, Nate, as you know, according to the doctors of Good Sam, I flatlined on June 30th for 6 to 10 seconds. I definitely emerged with a new attitude and spirit. I kind of get how you're feeling. Your life is for the living. It is not for the dead. Life is for the living. It is not for the dead. We can't do nothing for the dead. And if you have like Christian beliefs or you believe in the afterlife, well, on some levels, I'm relieved. I mean, I want her here for me and be selfish, but if there is an afterlife, and again, I'm not God, so I don't know my mother's sins, but let's assume that she was a good person and she can go to the good part of afterlife, then I'm happy for her. She's in a better place, doing what she liked to do, reunited with her parents, and her husband passed away a few years ago, so now reunited with her husband, who she loved very dearly. So, that's what gets me through. That's what gets me through. Good morning to you, Brian. Good morning, Tiffany. What's up, yo? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Appreciate it, Brandy. Thank you, OJ. Appreciate you. And congratulations to you, bro, for the engagement. QT's writes, imagine someone having no material so become the butt of the joke. Okay. Tiffany writes, condolences. Gladys writes, live life to the fullest. Derek's in the house. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Jennifer, appreciate it. Eloise is in the house. Good to see you, Elo. Hopefully it's okay for me to call you that. Joe writes, God bless. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I feel it. I really appreciate it. Jada writes, good morning. LaMonica, appreciate it. Appreciate everybody. Let me see. Dave, Cash writes, Dave said he was willing to have a conversation with the employees at Netflix, so I'm still trying to understand what he said that was so offensive. I think it was just, and I get it. I'm not saying I don't understand it, right? There is an impact. Like, unfortunately, some dumbass individual out there is going to watch that, and they already, oh, thank you so much, Jenny. They already have, like a racist, not a racist, but like a biased view of the LGBT community. But see, I do not. I don't look at the LGBTQ community any different. They know they're Americans, period. Pay your taxes and get access. You want to get married, do whatever anybody else can do. I don't see any difference with it. So maybe I'm coming from a different viewpoint. I ain't going to shun you. I'm not going to stigmatize you. I'm not going to look at you any differently as I would a heterosexual person. You got some Christians out there that's seeing way more than people that's LGBTQ. You got some people out there that on the surface, they love their God. They all about family, and in the dark, in the shadows, they are the most evil people in the world. So I don't really get caught up with somebody's sexuality. As an American, you should have the same access to everybody else that I have. And that's it. I treat people I give people the same energy they give me. Now, if there's some inequities and some dumbish, if you LGBTQ, you're going to get the heat too. I'm not going to spare you the rod. Now you get the same thing everybody else gets. And in that way, it's all good. Good morning to you. Ron P. writes, Scotty Johnson running for council. Yeah. Yes, he is. And as a matter of fact, let me share this with you. Hold on real quick. I want to share this with you. I was on Twitter, and I think this was Cam Hardy that shared this. There's some folks call themselves Black Political, right? And they get together on Thursdays. There's a bar called Bar 29 over on Reading Road. And I want to see. Yeah. I'm not sure if he. So yeah, here's Black Political. And this is from my phone. These are their endorsements. Sorry about that, light. This is the endorsements, Black Political. Now, whatever that means to you. Those are the endorsements and the issues. So I'll just read it to you. I mean, we read the endorsements from the Democrats and the Charter and the Republicans, so we might as well read these endorsements too, right? Jan Michelle Lynn McCurney, Tierra Powell, Michelle Dillingham, Brian Gary, Reggie Harris, Galen Gordon, Greg Landsman, Scotty Johnson, Liz Keating, Mika Owens. School Board, Pam Bowers, Kareem Moffitt, Mary Weinberg. Mayor, Avtab Puraval. Municipal Court Judge, Liz Ty. Issues, no on 3, yes on issue 29. So whatever that means, I mean, they're a fairly new group. I'm not sure if they're going to have what they're going to do or what their plan is. I see Ozzy posted this as well. And again, I don't know for sure who is behind it. Black Political 101 respectfully recommends these candidates in issue positions to speak most prominently to serving Cincinnati's Black communities best. Black Political 101 took into account the perspectives of our organizers and attendees in amassing this list. So I'm with it. Why not? Everybody else got a list. Why shouldn't the folks over Black Political 101 have a list? So whatever that means to you. And we talk with damn near all these folks at some point. Yeah, I think all these folks participated in the NAACP forum and all the forums. So, check it out. Check it out for you. Check it out for yourself. Whatever that means. Jada writes, we are standing with Dave Chappelle. Okay. Oh, man. Kim writes, bro, you're definitely, as much as you can hold your emotions while casting. Let me see. Somebody writes, I'm on Facebook. So go to Send Digital Media on Facebook. And it should be on the Nathan Ivey Show as well. So somebody's like, I don't know where you're reading comments from. Go to Facebook, go to the Nathan Ivey Show, and then look at the latest live stream. Or you can go to CIN, Cincinnati, Send Digital Media, and you can check it out there as well. And you can join the chat. And the chat is infused with the people on YouTube and the various Facebook groups as well. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, I can read those chats. We're also on YouTube as well, and you can check it out and join the Chop Shop. Lisa writes, I was confused at the corporate spin too. I don't know what he meant by corporate spin. I don't understand what he meant by corporate spin. That may be some Dave Chappelle type ish, because from a corporate standpoint, Dave Chappelle make money and controversy sells, right? So I didn't really get it, but that's his thing. Jada writes, my thing is Netflix already knew the risk and still did a deal with Chappelle. The LGBTQ community is only proving what he said in the special to be true. Yes. Nat writes, one of the leaders of Netflix employees walkout was found to have homophobic and racist tweets. So go figure that. I did see that. So she had a history of racist and homophobic tweets. And again, I'll never understand why a grown person will go on social media and tweet homophobic or racist or gender biased type of ish. I just don't get it. It's like, I don't care how old you are. That just don't make no sense to me. It's like, that's what this is for you? Really? That's what you're going to use Twitter for? I don't get it. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. I'd like to send my condolences to you and your family, and rest in peace, Chairman Mao.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Ivey, I can feel where Dave Chappelle is coming from, and everything you said about when you hit a certain age, you just don't give a F, because when you hit a certain age, you should know who you are. And believe me, Mr. Ivey, I just turned 61 last month. And I know a lot of people my age who do not know who they are. When they stand in front of that mirror, the man in the middle, they always lose the conversation between good and evil. And that's where it all begins. When you as a human being stand in front of that mirror, and if you are the one in charge of the conversation, then you know who you are. And nobody else can tell you who you are. So I can relate to Dave Chappelle and how you got to stand your ground and you don't give a F of what people think. But Mr. Ivey, this is the inside story. And I think this is what Dave is talking about. This is a headline from Verge. It says, Netflix trans employees and allies released a list of demands ahead of the walkout. And this was written on October the 18th. And what it is, it's that while the conversation has become mired in a culture war, dispute over censorship and hate speech, none of the demands involve taking down Dave Chappelle's comedy special. The employees of Netflix want to allow the trans ERG, I don't know what that means, to take on a bigger role in internal conversations surrounding potentially harmful content, hire trans and non-binary executives, and eliminate imagery of transphobic content in the office. Now, maybe that's what Dave Chappelle is talking about, how the so-called LGBT activists within the Netflix corporation are using this as a way to get demands, which has nothing to do with what Dave Chappelle said. So again, Mr. Ivey, it's way more to this story than what the media is reporting. So you got to really dig deep to find out what's going on. And it appears that it has nothing to do with Dave Chappelle's stand-up act. Right. So that's all I got, Mr. Ivey, because you know me. I don't give a F for what people think because I know who I am and I'm going to stand strong on my principles and my beliefs when it comes to politics and letting everybody know that I have a different opinion than the average Black voter. So that's all I got. Thoughts and prayers to your family, Mr. Ivey, and rest in peace, Chairman Mom, Drop Squad 52. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out.
Appreciate that. That's right, Chairman Mom. Rest in peace. I came up with that many years ago and started using it on the air because, you know, single mothers got to be dictators. And you may have heard of Chairman Mao, right? Fascist dictator of the Chinese people. I came up with Chairman Mom. So rest in peace. And if you just tuned in, yeah, she passed away yesterday. Very difficult. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Who am I speaking with?
My name's Ebony.
Good morning, Ebony. So your mom.
Just first and foremost, want to say my condolences to you and your family.
Thank you.
I want to speak on the Dave Chappelle subject because it's something that has been the topic of conversation for weeks now.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out what the big deal is. Now, you know, I understand the Alphabet Gang is a marginalized community, and they got a lot of struggles going on and whatnot. But truly, I watched the closer 4 times. He hasn't said anything that's overly offensive. If anything, they should have took away from that story was the trans woman that he befriended and he gave a shot to, that he allowed to open up for his show. And when she stood up for him on social media, she was attacked. And not saying this is correlated, but coincidentally, she killed herself. And it's like throughout the whole thing, they missed that whole part where he tells this wonderful story about this beautiful human being that's no longer here. It's like they glossed over that completely. And he's like, he's a transphobe, he's a homophobe. I just don't understand it's almost like the Salem witch trials almost these days. It's like everyone's offended about everything. You can't even say the sky is blue without somebody screaming, what about the clouds? You know, it's just, I don't know, like, where do we draw the line? I mean, if you're going to talk about equality, then that means in comedy, everybody gets it. The disabled, young, old, Black, white, Asian. So, I mean, I thought that being a part of the conversation in a fun way would be something that would be attractive to the Alphabet Gang. But unfortunately, there are those at Netflix that feel differently, and that's fine if they're offended. But to just try to cancel his whole career, you can't cancel a man who walked away from $50 million. I don't know if I could. Could you walk away from $50 million?
It depends on how much money I had in the bank, but maybe not.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna just keep it all the way a buck with you, nigga. I'm not sure if I could. So his integrity is intact. I think once we start trying to censor people for, I mean, you gotta think about it. Andrew Dice Clay, he was surviving this new culture, and he was a a comedian that didn't care about nothing. He talked about race. He was very other comedian, Silverman. I don't like Sarah Silverman. I don't find her comedy funny, so I don't watch her. So I just don't understand what the issue is. But people really need to lighten up. We're living in perilous times. We're in the middle of a pandemic. People have been locked up for a year or better. We're going through all these changes with the mandates and the vaccines and the pro-vaxxers and the anti-vaxxers and all of this discord and discombobulation going on. Why can't we just have a laugh? That's all I got.
Ebony, thank you for the call. Appreciate
Thank you.
Yep, don't be a stranger. Appreciate the voice. I can't disagree with anything she said. I agree with fundamentally everything she said. I mean, it's a comedian. And maybe Drop just gave us something here because I am aware of that. He kind of just reminded me. I didn't read that whole article, but I had read some of it. And there are some internal things happening with Netflix. And perhaps people are trying to use Dave Chappelle to leverage it to try to get things like for employees and stuff like that inside of the company of Netflix. That could be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've had heterosexual people lie on me. I've had heterosexual people try to stab me in the back. I've had heterosexual people try to do all kind of things to me. So why would I be upset with the LGBTQ community? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't get it. That's just me personally. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Angela writes, right, Nate. I know who I am, and I don't give a damn what anybody thinks of me. F them. Well, I mean, I want people to think of me what I'm projecting. But if they don't and they miss it or they misread it or misdiagnose it, I mean, that's really, really on them. Again, a lot of people project. A lot of people project their thoughts and their fears and their issues onto you. And sometimes they think you should react a certain way. And when you don't, they don't know how to deal with it. Something must be wrong. A lot of people do that. TNT writes, the older I get, the more I don't give a F. Exactly. Same here. Exactly. Shannon writes, F at 40s. It's right. Jada writes, because grown people think they can't be checked. LOL. Yeah, that is the word. Oh my God. Yeah, ego. That's what it is. It's ego. Bruising your ego as an adult. Oh my God. Nothing to make you madder. Nothing to make you madder. Somebody telling you something about yourself and they're right. Oh my gosh. Woo. You ready to fight then. You are ready to fight. You are ready to fight. I ain't no different. People told me shit. I'm like, you know what? Screw you. And I think about it. I'm like, damn it, they're right. Damn it. Now I got to go back and tell them they were right. I hate it. I hate it. But, you know, if you're really about that personal growth, somebody tell you something about yourself and it's true, just accept it. You're right. You right, bro. You right, sis. Just kill it. And then talk about it. You right. And keep on going. And that's it. TC writes, I'm that Omarion, not bothered. Susan writes, may make you mad sometimes, but only a fool despises correction, and iron sharpens iron. Only a fool despises correction. Absolutely. That's how you don't give a F. If somebody say something, number one, know yourself. Number two, know who's saying something to you. Number three, if it's real, it's real. Just sharpen yourself. And if it's not, leave it and keep on going. Boom, there it is. Angela writes, sometimes you have to listen to constructive criticism, period. Again, I fully missed it. Somebody might try to give me constructive criticism, but they have proven themselves to be somebody that's unreliable to me. And so therefore I'll completely miss it. And that's the danger of the way I think about it. Like I might miss it. Like, I'll just file it away. Like, they don't give a damn file. Just put it right in there. And it could be a valid thing, but because they have demonstrated themselves to be untrustworthy or to be on whatever, I miss it. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate it. Nat writes, many times it's about the delivery. It could be about the right. It is about the delivery. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody is sincere about something and they sincerely are trying to give you something constructive, then you'll know. And when it's just some F-ish or whatever it might be, then you'll know. And you're right about that. Sometimes it could be valid, but the delivery is all wrong. And so you're just going to miss it. At least I'm going to miss it. I can't speak for you. Dale writes, a bunch of miserable people always trying to tear others down. That happens too. Kathy writes, good morning. Anthony writes, all props to Dave. Yeah, it is easier not to be willing to bend when you don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from. I'm just saying it is. It is. That's very, very true. That's very, very true. Right? Dave Chappelle, I'm not going to say, I can't speak for him, but like his company got paid $24 million for the closer. So he's made millions of dollars since giving up that $50 million deal. That ain't the same as when your ass is dead broke and you ain't got no future income coming in and you giving up $50 million. That ain't the same. So I had to be real with Ebony, like, it depends. Depends on what the nature is. Like, I ain't trying to play myself for no dollar amount, but if that's my biggest check coming in, we're going to have to think about that, maybe, depending on the nature of the scenario. You never know. What up, Bunky? Good to see you. Good to see you, Bunky. Good morning. He said, F they feelings. Tracy writes, tardy. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate you. Tracy writes, so sorry. I truly enjoyed the stories about Chairman Mom over the years. I appreciate that. Most definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's very, very tough. Thank you, Lannis. Appreciate it. Thank you, Kashara, Jenny. Appreciate everybody. Marisha, Charles, thank you so much. Gail, Callie, good morning to you. Nikki writes, absolutely, Christians can be the worst regarding sin. Yeah, the biggest sinners is the Christians. Some of them. I mean, I've had people that's so sanctified in front of the public and they so this and that and their life is for Christ and is lying ass rotten people. Lying ass rotten people away from all of that. So it don't really matter. It's the individual things. Kathy writes, my condolences to you and your family, Nate. Black folks definitely need to take several pages from the LGBTQ community. The other part is treat others as you want to be treated, regardless of who you are. If you don't find the funny in your issues, if you don't find the funny in other people's pain and issues. Nat writes, your mom raised a thinking, intelligent black man, and we need more of that. She did a great job. Appreciate that. Hopefully she's, tapped in up in heaven. Hopefully. You always wish your people go to heaven, right? But I don't have any control over that. I have no control. And that's just the other thing about it. It's just a powerlessness, right? As a man, you want to be able to control as much as you can, right? You want to be able to make things better for the people around you. And I'm standing there yesterday and I have no control whatsoever. And I got these doctors chirping at me, got to make a decision, like either we're going to continue with the compressions or we're just going to let nature take its course. And I'm standing there, family there, everybody's in tears. And, I'm the eldest son, so it falls on me. So I got to make a decision about essentially whether we're going to, I won't say pull the plug because that's not what happened, but whether they're going to continue to do life-saving procedures on a woman that gave you life. I mean, that's real. And as I sit here talking about it, I can't even believe it, to be honest with you. I mean, I still think I'm in shock. Like, did that really just happen? Really? Like, if I call her number right now, she's not going to answer. It's very difficult. It's very deep. Very, very deep. Cleopatra's in the house. She writes Grand Risings. Kendall's in the house. She writes good morning. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Clarence writes, now, Scotty, you are a no vote. You know what you did, and I ain't forgot. Okay, Clarence. You got to do what you think is best, man. Hey, what's up, Liz? Mahogany's in the house. I sent you a direct message. I definitely want to catch up with you, for sure. Most definitely. Cash writes, drop believes of the black person? I'm shocked, right? Thank you so much, Bunky. I appreciate it. He says, I've been there, lost my mom at 22. She was 44. Love your choppers. Tomorrow is not promised. Absolutely. Damn, 22. And see, that's why I look at myself as grateful, man. I got her all this time. That's a good long time as a human being. I mean, you only get so much time with the people you love. You only get so much time. You don't get an infinite amount of time. And the age really don't matter. My wife lost somebody very close to her who was in her late 30s. I've told you this. Literally, she died of a heart attack. Literally was gone just like that. Her friend, our friend, she was a family friend. She was preparing to go she was going to like, I don't know, Aruba. She was going somewhere tropical. Like bags packed, room booked, and was getting on the flight in the morning. Late 30s, black female. At a friend's house, kicking it, chilling, started to feel bad. And the last thing she said was, wait, no, and was gone. Heart attack. You know, you don't know. You don't know. You don't get a chance to choose, and you don't always get a chance to say goodbye. You don't get a chance to say goodbye. God don't tell you that. Where is that in the Bible? Show me where in the Bible it says that you get a chance to, if that means something to you, or the Quran, or whatever book you read, whatever your belief is. But you show me where it says that the Most High is going to give you a chance to say goodbye. You don't get a chance to say goodbye. When it's time, it's time. So again, just love the people that you claim that you love. Let them know now. Thank you so much, Carmelita. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sister Iris. Appreciate it. Most Def. What's up, Greg? Good to see you. I appreciate it. Most Def. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Shannon. I appreciate it. Yo, Rice, how can you not like Drop? Like I said, I love me some Drop, man. Drop supports me, so I support him 100%. Let me flow into what'll probably be our last break before I roll out of here. Like I said, I'm up for this. This is like my own personal daily catharsis. You know what I'm saying? I live for this. I love doing this. But I'm not up to do it until 10 a.m. this morning. I'm going to move on to some other things. There's a lot of stuff going on, as you can imagine, that we need to attend to as a family. But I want to remind you that early voting began back on October the 5th. It continues through November the 1st, which is Monday. You can early vote here in Hamilton County at the Board of Elections. I would urge you, if you have the time, to get it over with. Get it done once you make your decision. Once you make your decision, get it done. That way on election day, you can kick back and just watch everything that's going on and chill, and you don't have to be rushed and everything. You never know what the weather's going to be like. You never know what can happen. Don't procrastinate. If you already know what your decision is, make your decision and let the folks know. All right. We'll take a quick break and come right back. Don't go anywhere.
Good morning, Choppers. I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by friends of Scotty Johnson.
This is Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I've been busy fighting hard for the citizens of our county. But today I'm asking you to vote for my friend, Democrat Elizabeth Tye, for Municipal Court Judge. Elizabeth Tye and her family stood with me in a tough election. Now I'm asking you to stand with Elizabeth Tye for judge. She's from our community, and she's qualified. Elizabeth Tye grew up in Kennedy Heights and graduated from Central State University. Elizabeth Tye has been a prosecutor, a public defender, and has built a law practice from the bottom up. There is currently only one Black woman on the municipal court. It's time to send another one. Join me in voting for my sister, Elizabeth Tye, for judge. Meet me at the polls.
This is Elizabeth Tye, and there is only one judicial race, and I need you to vote Tye for judge. Let's send a clear message that hard work and experience matters. Go vote Tye for judge today.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Democrat Elizabeth Tye for Municipal Judge.
Hi, this is County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I'm supporting Reggie Harris for Cincinnati City Council. Not only did Reggie support me in my tough election last year, but we walked the streets of Cincinnati together to deliver food and help citizens in this pandemic. Reggie Harris knows what it means to help people in these tough times, and as a former vice mayor, I know how important it is to have good leaders at City Hall. That's why I'm asking you to join with me in voting for Reggie Harris for City Council.
Paid for by friends of Reggie Harris.
Good morning, Choppers. I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Can't sleep.
It's hard to pay attention in school.
I say mean things.
I keep getting in trouble.
I bully other kids.
I'm just scared.
No one sees my pain.
Sometimes I want to die.
So many of our children are facing trauma, but instead of seeing their pain and fear, we're labeling them bad, troubled, delinquent, or criminal. Let's look beyond their behaviors. Let's get them the help they need by helping them address the trauma they're facing.
Help me feel safe.
See me for more than my behaviors.
Understand that my actions are how I communicate my fears.
For more information, visit www.ohiostateofemergency.com. That's ohiostateofemergency.com.
Everything. Thank you for being here. I plan to be back with you and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning. I mean, this is what I do. And but again, it'll be a game time decision. I'm also going to do a special podcast probably over the weekend and then on Monday evening as we get ready for the election as well. I may have an engagement on Tuesday. I might be helping with a live stream with a local organization, so I won't be doing my own personal live stream, but I plan on doing something on Monday evening, like the day before the election, so check that out, all right? Have an excellent rest of your day, family. Remember our motto, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey. Love the people. Hug the people you say you love the most. And we'll catch up real soon. Until next time, I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, got them feelings I throw all my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you all must spot at the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty talking about old. I'm on the now, can't get a pass now. I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash.